I believe that your thoughts are directly related to your environment. The quality of thought that you receive is directly related to your environment. If we're in a small space, confined space, our thoughts will be confined.
I started from nothing, and I've been able to build incredible businesses, been able to level up, build an incredible community, and today travel the world and have the ability to impact millions of people with a very simple message, which is to become the fullest version and the best version of yourself.
What do you think about how thoughts create reality and how they control reality?
I mean, everything originates in the mind. You know, the idea is what inspires the opportunity for you to get up and pursue a business. The inspiration that you observe and you think about, and when you observe an athlete win, and that inspires you to endeavor and work hard and become an athlete yourself. Everything originates in the mind. That's why the system is after your mind. You know, from the moment you're born, they start indoctrinating you with the school system. They indoctrinate you with, you know, what's important, what's not important. They attribute your self-worth and your value to what you have to give to the system as opposed to who you are as an individual. So when I begin to evaluate kind of the entirety of how society works, most people don't focus on their mindset. Most people are focused on exterior factors. They think that everything that happens to them is by chance. And they don't realize that a lot of the things that happen to them are things that they attract. Because you attract the things that you are, and you are what you do, and you do what you think about. So it's all a cyclical loop. Most people don't understand the power of the mind. That's why they haven't tapped into the power of the mind. And the power of the mind is one very simple thing: the ability to direct your attention towards a specific given objective, and then to have the willpower to pursue it. Most people obviously don't know where they're going because they never have a goal. You need to have a clear goal. If you don't have a goal, you don't know where you're going to go in life. If I ask you today, what's your financial goal for this year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? Would you be able to answer? Would you be able to say, yeah, this is my goal? And I'm not talking about how many millions of dollars you want to have. I'm talking about the positioning. What type of business are you going to have that's going to generate cash flow? What type of investments do you want to have? You need to be able to be very specific about the life that you want, about who you want to become. Mindset, your ability to develop thoughts, is extremely important because your thoughts dictate and create your reality. Thoughts lead to actions, actions lead to behaviors, and behavior leads to lifestyle. You and I can both look at one thing, an object, and have two completely different set of thoughts based off of our programming, based off of our upbringing, based off of our behavior. You could look at a flag and feel disgusted. I could look at a flag and be like, I feel patriotic. It all depends on the context. What I've come to realize about mindset and thoughts, and then I want to ask you about what you think about it, is not only that it originates from your context and your environment, but it also comes from how you position yourself. The environment, the friends, the music, the food, all these things are choices that you get to make that, once again, are a factor to all the components that are taking place to develop, free thinking or develop a worldview. How you behave dictates and controls the quality of your thoughts because it's what dictates how you position yourself. So it all comes down to action. That's why life, there's formulas and recipes to success, which is what I talk about.
Yeah.
There's ways to win. When I meet entrepreneurs, I can tell whether they're going to succeed or not based off of the patterns and behaviors that they instill and that they showcase in their life. I know people that are going to lose in life and people that are going to win based off of what? Their behavioral patterns. Patterns repeat themselves all across the universe. So we understand that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you see somebody inputting negative behaviors, you can very much dictate what the outcome is going to be. Once again, if you understand these things, you begin to act in accordance to that which you want. And the mindset isn't something that you have to have turned on all the time. That's what people neglect. The mindset is just supposed to direct you. And once you have the direction, you just have to go. The scientific method is very simple. You go from observation to analysis, to thesis, to hypothesis, to testing, to observing, and then to, if you have to, iterate. And then you continue until you find truth. Science is the pursuit of truth, right? So what you need to do is have a pattern as to how you think, a model of thinking that lets you filter truth. If I ask you right now, how do you filter a thought, whether it's true or not? Do you have a process of thought that you go through? Most people don't, but you can develop one very quickly.
Yeah.
That's why most people fall prey to propaganda. They can't. That's why when you tell people, hey, COVID was obvious. It was a scam. Well, how did you know? Well, the patterns were there. You just did not have the wherewithal to observe them, but they were there. I'm not alone. Hundreds of millions of people observed the same thing that I observed, but you didn't. Why? And this is the pattern recognition that determines whether you have the ability to freely think or not. And these molds, these filters, are going to help you determine whether you have the ability to find truth or whether you're going to be stuck in some matrix feedback loop that somebody's told you about. I mean, once again, if we're receivers of information and we're operating off of a frequency, you can vibe with somebody by being in the same frequency state. That's why when two people smoke a joint, they can hang out together because they're in the same vibe.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the most basic example for the average person to understand. When you go to a concert, you're listening to the same music, the same vibes, the same frequencies. You start getting in rhythm. You go in bed, you cuddle with your girl. Your hearts start beating at the same pace. You feel connected, right? You're vibrating at the same frequency. Many instances of life. So yes, you can be connected, but you can also be highly disconnected to people because you're in a completely different plane of reality. So it also depends on where you are. But once again, you'll attract the people that you deserve to attract based off of who you are. Once you pursue something, that thing that you're pursuing also attracts itself to you. It's the law of magnetism, and whatever you are, you attract. Once you know what you want, just do retroactive steps on how to get there. You're not special. I'm not special. We're not the first to succeed. Millions have succeeded in the past, so can we. What have they done that allowed them to succeed? Let me replicate it. Simplicity in pattern recognition, simplicity in optimizing the behaviors of others. That's what we are. We're only better than the past generation. We're only stacking, right, on past generations. Technology is advancing based off of the stacking of what? Knowledge. So we stack this knowledge, we implement it, we become better people.